Today's lesson is Small Steps for Big Changes from the book The English Channel, Class 8. Have you ever helped anybody? When and how? How did you feel after you helped the person? Now, this is what on which this lesson actually revolves around. Now the holidays were about to begin. Saket and Salil Jajodia from Bengaluru wanted to do something useful. Now these two people, Saket and Salil, they belong to Bengaluru and they wanted to do something useful in their holidays, as we also always think that during our holidays, what should we do which is constructive? They were looking for opportunities to do some volunteer work with an NGO. After spending hours searching for information on the internet, making phone calls, and even visiting NGO offices, they were not able to find anything for themselves. They did all the hard work, but then, all their efforts went in vain. Saket and Salil talked to many classmates and others. They too had faced similar obstacles. Other people were also facing the same problems. There was hardly any information about volunteering opportunities. So they had just given up. The boys wanted to help, but where would they get the information they wanted? They had there had to be a better way. And when they were looking for some information for their own selves, then only they realized, that there should be some better way in which, the people who want to help other people, they get some useful information. The boys began brainstorming a method of collecting information about NGOs and their needs, and then they finally decide that they need to do something about it. And they were thinking about it in order to collect information about NGOs, their needs. The information once collected would be shared so that volunteers could find NGOs that needed their help. And they decided that whatever information they'll collect, they'll share it with other people so other volunteers also get this useful information and, help accordingly. The volunteers could then offer their services to such NGOs as a result. This presented an opportunity for them to create Donate My Time (DMT), a mobile app and web-based platform designed to help connect volunteers with NGOs. Now, as we say that necessity is the mother of invention. So when they needed it, they invented it. Okay. So they created Donate My Time, a DMT app for mobile use and a web-based platform in order to help and connect volunteers with NGOs. Now, initially, the idea was to create a simple spreadsheet like an Excel sheet with all the information of the various NGOs and their contact details. As their understanding of the needs of the NGOs and volunteers grew, additional features were added to make the process easier for both the NGOs and the volunteers. Now, earlier, when they just began with, they made a very simple kind of a sheet like an Excel sheet, but as they moved ahead, and in order to the demand of the thing, you know many things got added into it, many additional features were added to make the entire process easier for both the NGOs as well as the volunteers. The idea behind DMT is to make available information about NGOs, the kind of work they do, and the help they need. It also aims to help people overcome fear and doubt about the genuineness of NGOs. Sometimes people have a doubt also whether the NGO is genuine or not. So it was helping in that way as well. Connecting volunteers to NGOs next door makes it easier for them to share their special skills and experiences. Saket and Salil believe that volunteering enables people to show compassion and empathy towards less fortunate ones. Okay, and they believe that these volunteering services will enable people to show the compassion that they have inside them, to show the emotions, the feelings that they have towards the less fortunate ones. They feel that encouraging people to do acts of kindness will bring about a positive change in society. And it is very true also that if you will encourage people to do some acts of kindness, of course there'll be a positive environment in the society and all around you. They also believe that, like themselves, there could be a million more sincerely wanting to donate their time to be agents of change. And they also believed it sincerely that they are not the only people, that but there would be many others, millions actually, who would sincerely, who would really want to donate their time and want to become the agent of change that they want to see in the society. Saket and Salil, they are not the only one, as I said earlier also. 17-year-old Ananya Saluja's greatest reward is to see faces light up with happiness. This is a joy she will not give up. And there's this another girl who's just 17 years old, Ananya Saluja, and when she sees some little faces lighting up with all the happiness, this is the joy that she will never give up for anything. It all began when Ananya, a student in Gurugram, signed up for a community service program in her school, which gave her first-hand experience in teaching underprivileged children. The program ended, but Ananya wanted to do more. Now, such programs, many schools take up such community service programs, and you go there, you go out, you teach children, you work for other people, and so many things go on like that. And Ananya also did this, and the program also ended, but somewhere Ananya was not done with it. She wanted more. She made enquiries and got to know about an NGO in Ladakh, started by a former school teacher. Ananya took the initiative to offer her services as a volunteer. Her choice was Leh and other remote regions of Ladakh, because these are the places, these remote areas are the places where these services are needed the most. She has visited villages such as Liksi, Tutuk, and Tieling, teaching children about the world and far beyond. For the past 3 years, she has been visiting the Ladakh region, sharing her skills as a volunteer, either teaching or helping set up libraries and playgrounds in the tiny villages. There is not only one work that one has to teach, but then there are several other things that one can do, like she was sharing her skills, whatever she had known, and she was teaching children. She was helping to set up some libraries, some playgrounds in those small little villages. The experience has reinforced her desire to do all she can to make the children's lives better. And after doing these little activities, what was the desire in her? You know, that she wanted to help more and more so that she can bring about a little change in the children's life and make it better. Ananya realizes that she can volunteer to work in Ladakh only during the school vacations. And of course, because children are only free, students are generally free in their vacations. So only during the school vacations, she volunteered herself to work in Ladakh. So, is it a once in a year effort? Not at all. Now, if you think that you can only do it during your vacations, but no, that is not true. It is not once in a year effort. She helps in other ways. She also helped people there, children there, in many other ways. Her skill and knowledge have enabled her to use crowdfunding. The skills and knowledge that she herself had gathered after teaching to, in such remote areas, she enabled her to use crowdfunding to raise money. Crowdfunding, when you take very little amount of money from people around, okay, so many people donate and they give very little amount, but then it is crowdfunding and eventually it becomes big. And this is a way to raise money, and this is how she raised it for those people. She plans to use this money, and now she plans to use this money to set up 19 libraries in the region. And she had collected some good amount after crowdfunding, and she has plans to set up somewhere around 19 libraries in that region. But for her, this is just the beginning. But for a person like Ananya, for a person who is really willing to work for underprivileged people, it is just the beginning. Ananya knows that volunteering can be the bridge between the children in such remote hamlets in Ladakh and the outside world. And she knows that this kind of voluntary service that she is doing, she is from, Gurugram, she's going from Gurugram to Ladakh every time. Okay, so then it'll become a bridge. This kind of voluntary service will serve as a bridge between the children of those remote areas as well as the people of the outside world. Hamlets is small villages in Ladakh, and the possibilities are endless. And if one wants to do such a work, then possibilities are endless. There is no dearth of possibilities around us. And sometimes what we actually need is we need to take up that small step in the right direction. Okay, and you know you need to have that will to take that small step. It for to start on a journey to 1,000,000 miles, you have to take that one little step, and that's what Ananya, Salil, and Saket, and I think many of you would also have taken or are going to take. Thank you so much.